So what's the correlation with this and the apple?
Okay.
Apollo. There you go, Apollo.
Because apple is related to Apollo, which is Saturn. Okay. Apollo, apple, the apples of Apollo. And Apis is the bull. Apis is the bull of April. April is what? Taurus. April, the bull Taurus turns up because April is dealing with Apis, the bull. That's why the Alexandrians 2,000 years ago, when syncretism prevailed throughout the whole of the globe, they worshipped Serapis, which was a bull god. Jabulon. Jabul. That's the Freemasons. They tell you that's the name of God. Jabulon. Well, Serapis also gives you what else? There's a lot of words that have this apple, and so.
But there's the serotonin. You know serotonin. It's one of the
serotonin. Seraphim.
Seraphim.
It comes from the same thing. You just put a ph there. You've got seraphim, right? Well, that all comes from Apis, from the bull, because the bull is the Taurus field. And it's the most common motif of animals in the universe, the ox or the bull.
Oh. You have any question, Lily?
Yeah, well, I'm also thinking about how, like, on the Taurus field, that is like the zodiacal wave that you show, like, each of us have planets on different parts of that wave. And I'm just wondering, like, it seems like, you know, constantly there are different waves twisting in, you know, like, of the energy. And I'm wondering how, like, how does that relate? Like, you know, there are different waves going on all the time. And, you know, how do we use skillful means in order to navigate, you know, like, maybe we have a planet on the wave, you know, and then I don't know, like, I'm just thinking, like, maybe like that a wave twists in, that's the now moment, and then we've got something else twisting out. Like, there's something going on energetically with the process.
Well, we learned from the little graph that I put up before that when energy goes out that way, it's also instantaneously projecting energy out the other way at the same time. It can only work that way. So this wave, you could call it the base wave, okay? There's always a base wave. So when you play, say, a musical note, so there's an E, okay? So you can hear that E. But in there are other harmonies, like there's a G sharp and a B. And there's harmonics. So what you've got now is you can only call this E because it is E, and that's the full. So the length of this string is going to be, it's always going to be an E, okay? So, but at the middle of the string, I play that's a higher octave E. So you can hear that, okay? But in every, so you can call that the bass tone, right? So when you halve that, now, if you see the string, you'll see a wave like this in the string, and you'll call that E, okay? Now that's the start of the guitar neck, that's the end of the guitar neck. So you've got one bass note. Now, at the same time, something else is going on. You've got this. And then you've got another one. Right? So they are called overtones or harmonies. Okay? And so astrologically, so you could be, say, Virgo, okay? So your sun's in Virgo and it's producing this Virgoan tone in your body, okay? Now, depending on all the other planets and how they are arranged in the chart, there will be many, many other subtones and overtones, over, sub, doesn't matter, but there'll be millions, endless. And you could pick one of those waves, isolate them. In the studio, you can isolate the waves, the frequency, pull it out, take it right out if you want. It's called mastering. You can put waves in, you can take them out. So what you're doing is you say, I don't like this. You take it out. And so, but that wave there could have been producing a lot of harm to your body. And so you cancel it. Or it could have been a good overtone. So in your astrological chart, the whole chart is one tone. But when you look at the other planets, you see undertones, overtones, subtones, harmonies, harmonics. So you've got to be able to look at the whole picture. Like a musician, he can't just go, well, I'm going to entertain you guys tonight. Here we go. Just play one note all night long. You'll get thrown out of the gig. So a musician, he's got to know how to play chords, rhythms, syncopation, harmonies, harmonics. And that's what the astrologer does. He doesn't just have a look at one thing. He separates all the parts and then puts them back like a good watchmaker in Switzerland. He's got a million little things that you wouldn't know what. You would never know where to start to put that watch together. But he starts. And then after 20 minutes, he's got a watch ticking, telling the time. So the same is with astrology. The same is with energy. This is energy. And to understand energy, you see, most people, because of their limited education and their limited indoctrination, they think energy is this. Two things, positive and negative, polarization, duality. But it's not. Nothing in the universe is that simple. It starts simply. It does maintain a simple foundation, but energy must be understood like this. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 12. And now you understand every sine wave. You understand that every sine wave starts with plasma. Aries, cardinal fire. Fire is plasma. Energy, radiance. Air is gas. Water is liquid. Earth is solid. Now we're not talking astrology anymore. Now we're talking science. And scientists will say, oh yeah, forget the 4 elements. That's all astrological poo-poo, demon, devil. That's from the devil. We talk in terms of 4 states of matter: plasma, gas, liquid, solid. Okay, let's humor the scientists then, shall we? Okay, so let's teach the electricians about electricity, shall we? The electrician will turn around and say, oh yes, it's positive and negative. You've got a battery, that's the positive terminal, that's the negative terminal. Yeah, if you're simple-minded, that battery is doing 12 things, not 2 things. 12 things. Each wave starts with plasma. Each wave. Every wave starts here. Every wave. Every wave. Not just some waves. Some waves start in Capricorn, Earth. Impossible. No energy can start with Earth. It can never start with Earth. All energy is transcendental plasma. First, it is fire. Fire is the generator. Taurus. The creator, the actor, the author of the universe is this. Plasma So plasma, then Taurus is solid, then Gemini is gas, then Cancer is liquid. And along the ecliptic, this is what's going on. When a wave starts, it is fiery. Then it is earthy. Then it is gaseous. Then it is liquid. And then it repeats. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. But not the same, because there are 4 elements, but there are 3 modalities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Okay, so the elements will repeat, but the modalities will not. So cardinal fire will only happen here. It's the only place along the ecliptic. Over here in Leo, you've got fixed fire. That's a different kind of fire. That's cardinal fire, Aries. That's fixed fire, Leo. Then Sagittarius is mutable fire. Okay, etc., etc. Let's do a chart reading, shall we?
Yeah, she had a question for you regarding astrology first, and then maybe we can go
Oh,
on
I
with
think
the...
we've got him. No, let's do the
You
chart.
got them?
That was awesome. Oh, the way that he just talked about the harmonies,
okay.
like that is so great. That's how to chart. That's how to like transits fit in, because you would want, when you're looking at a transit chart, you would want to harmonize with the natal harmonies that are and overtones that are already there. That's a great metaphor and way to think about it.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So the bird chart tonight that we're gonna do is one of my great brother, guy I discovered. But he discovered me through Motivation Academy, and probably the Truman Show also. Is Ricky Longhill, Richard Langdon, his real name, and is born on the 14th of August 1979 in Erie, Pennsylvania. He told me between 4 and 5, so I said, okay, we'll go with 4:30.
Yeah, I don't like that. We really need the exact time. But anyway, 14th of August, 79. I'll put that in. See what we can do.
Maybe he's going to come up with something. But...
So was that 4 p.m.?
Yeah, 4 p.m.
And what was the place again?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
How do you spell that?
Erie is E-R-I-E, Erie, Pennsylvania, P-E-N-N-S-Y-L-V-A-N-I-E-A, Pennsylvania.
All right, 4 p.m. I'll share my screen, and we will have a look. This time we'll do this chart with the idea of the medicals. Okay, so
yeah.
Now, first thing you notice here is this individual has got Sun conjunct Jupiter and Venus. Okay, so can you see that?
Yeah.
All right, now he's a Leo, so his Sun is in Leo. Okay, now also the Sun is receiving 2 harsh squares, one from the Moon. You can see that red line, red shift, bad. Blue lines, blue shift, good. See those blue lines to Pluto? That's all good. Now, the Sun, he's at the top of that red pyramid. That red pyramid there, you can see that there. Uranus over here, Moon over here, Sun over there, makes what's called a T-square. Now, I know for a fact that these will cause medical situations in the body. Now, Leo is the heart and the circulatory system. This guy has probably got what we call, erroneously, hereditary heart condition, okay? He might think, oh, my father, you know, and his father had heart problems and his father died of a heart attack. It always carries through the chart. Here I can see clearly, this guy will have heart and blood circulation issues, okay? Now, What kind of issues? Well, the sun loves Leo, so this is not causing any problem except for those squares. Those squares will be, from the moon especially, they will hurt the sun, okay? Jupiter is also hot and moist, and Venus is cool and moist. So these two planets are bringing moisture here into the heart and into the blood and the circulatory system. So this is an excess of moisture, okay? Moisture is the problem here, not warmth, because Leo is warm, it's fire, and it's hot and dry. But Venus will bring wet, and Jupiter also is very wet, very moist. So moisture is going to be a problem here. Okay, so for the blood, this individual will need to supplement or take herbs, perhaps infusions of tea, which will dry up the blood. Keep it as dry as possible, because there's too much moisture in there. And I would recommend to take magnesium phosphate, okay? Because when your Leo is suffering, which this is the case, the tissue salt for Leo is magnesium phosphate, okay? And that will help in the heart. It'll soften the heart and the arteries and the veins, keep them nice, soft and pliable and flowing. And that will correct itself. All he needs to know is look at the planets that are in Leo to realize that they are too wet. The warmth is good. Venus is warm. She's not exactly cold, but Jupiter is hot, Sun is hot. So we've got two orbs that are hot, which correspond well with Leo, hot and dry. So and the Sun is hot and dry, so that's his home. Leo is the domicile of the Sun is the domicile of Leo, so that's good. Now, Jupiter, though, is a little bit uncomfortable there, and that is simply because there's too much moisture. Now, having considered that, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a naturopath, and I'm not a biochemist or an expert on the body and whatnot, but I know that in Leo, these planets are probably not so harmful, okay? Because why? Well, because blood flows and it's moist, is it not? There is moisture in blood. So Venus and Jupiter are probably not disturbing this sign so much at all. I would say it's these planets here squaring with them. And I would still look at this and I would still suspect that there's too much moisture in the blood. Okay. Now, the other problem here I can see is Taurus. The moon is good in Taurus. It exalts in Taurus. So it's a great moon. This individual has absolutely got lots of essential dignity. Sun in Leo, moon in Taurus, beautiful. Mars in Cancer, bad. Not good, okay, because Mars falls in Cancer. It exalts in Capricorn, opposite. But here, I would say there's nothing wrong with the humors. Moon would be cold and moist, and so Taurus is cold, and so they harmonize quite well, not a problem. But again, I would still consider Taurus to be weak, due to that T-square and the disharmonious energy through those red aspects pointing to Taurus. So I would take here, in the case of this guy, I would take sodium sulfate for Taurus. And that will help with the endocrine system, as Taurus is the ruler of the endocrine system. Hey, stop it. Hey. Shut up. Those are me birds. Going crazy. And Scorpio too. Scorpio is calcium sulfate. So this individual needs Leo, Virgo, Libra salts, because all Leos are deficient in those 3 salts. And then on top of that, he would need Scorpio, which is debilitated. I can see that here. Taurus is debilitated, and so is Sagittarius. Okay, now Sagittarius is silica. This individual definitely needs some silica. And that will show, the symptoms will show on the face. You can tell the deficiencies by facial diagnosis. So this individual needs 7 salts. And I would probably be, I'd be looking at Mars in Cancer here. This will be not very good. Too hot. Mars is too hot for Cancer and too dry. Cancer is cold and wet. Mars is hot and dry. So this is totally not good here. This will affect the stomach. This individual will probably have some stomach problems. Mars will, because Cancer is the digestive system. Okay, every sign has its respective system, and it will be too hot, too much fire in the stomach. You
I
know,
thought Cancer was the lungs.
Gemini.
Oh, okay, and that Virgo was the digestive system.
Virgo is more to do with the excretory, but it is also the bowels. Virgo is the bowels and the intestines and the excretory system. Cancer is totally the digester. The stomach is Cancer, and the spleen, and what else? The breast. You see the milk of the mother and all of that, the fluids there. So, but the spleen and the stomach is ruled by Cancer. So this person probably has digestive problems and probably could have spleen issues. Okay. Now, just a general reading here. We notice that there are many planets here in the 8th house. The 8th house is dealing with occult knowledge and also sexual energy. It's very sexual. There's other things too, like it deals with death, it deals with inheritance from partners and other people. So this individual, having so many beautiful planets here, Jupiter, Venus, Sun, can definitely expect some kind of an inheritance or wealth from a partner, some sort of support from a partner, a marriage partner, and some kind of assistance there, and lots of resources coming from the partner. So this will be a wise individual to partner up with partners. But it also indicates, this is also a very spiritual area too. Deep esoteric knowledge is to be uncovered and will be uncovered by this individual. Saturn in the 9th house by day is pretty good. Also, this is the house of spirituality, dreams, visions, religion and spiritual practice. Again, higher learning. The North Node is here. So the North Node tells you where to spend a lot of life energy, so as to get the most you can from the chart. So basically the North Node, which is Rahu, the head of the dragon, tells you what you should master, cultivate, develop, improve, and perfect in the lifetime. So this individual needs to, learn spiritual secrets, deep, penetrating spiritual secrets, needs to embrace higher learning, must learn the higher secrets of life and put them to practice. So spiritual practice is here in this house. The individual definitely needs to take care of that part of the life, okay? Pluto here in the 10th house is a big promising and wealthy career. Uranus is in the social 11th house, the social life, friends, clubs, groups, etc. This is also very good because Uranus is definitely a very active kind of a planet, bringing forth a lot of activity in that area. So starting from here, the social life, Uranus in the 11th, Pluto in the 10th, this is the public life. Here we have higher learning, and here we have deep learning, secret learning. All of this is where most of the action is happening. So I would be taking care of these spiritual themes here of the 8th and 9th house. Then we've got the moon over here in the 6th house. Now that has to do with, the lesson there would be, you know, service to others. It corresponds with Virgo's designations. And so moon is the first lady. She is the reactor. She gives, I guess, mental and emotional energy to the house. So this individual needs to emotionally charge himself when it comes to serving others. Do it with emotion. Do it with all your mind and heart. Have your heart in it. Know that the moon is shining her moonshine onto others here, and it would be wise to channel that moon energy and apply that, serving others, okay? So moon is telling you to serve others. Sun in the 10th house is telling you to acquire deep esoteric wisdom. Saturn is giving you the greatest of counsel when it comes to religion and spirituality, deep visions. This person, if this is the right time of the native, 4 p.m., well, this individual is going to have, you know, a high station in life when it comes to learning the higher secrets and teaching them. You'll be a great teacher. Saturn is a teacher.
He is
Yep.
already.
Yep. All right. There's lots of other things.
Yep, but hold on. You touched the point on many, because he was commenting in the chat at the same time we were reading it, and he was saying that his paternal grandparents had heart problem, and you were mentioning it. He had problem with his tummy as a child, very much. He had a lot of acid reflux in his 20s, very bad, and he has a mild scoliosis. So you touched on all the point.
Yeah, okay. So if I grabbed my synchrota wheel, which I will do just quickly. So this is what I call the synchrota wheel. Let's get rid of that. What we can do is have a look at the specific degree. The sun is on the 21st degree of Leo. I want to see if there's any other physical things there. And we see there's nothing specific there on the 21st degree of Leo, but that deacon there has to do with circulation. So in this case, it looks like blood and circulation rather than heart. The blood and the circulation need to be addressed. Possibly, I don't know, Jupiter could probably cause expansion and sort of like problems with high blood pressure. I'm hunching.
And what about that red triangle in there, he's asking?
Well, that's causing tension. Those red lines, those are squares, 90 degrees. As you can see, Uranus is 90 degrees away from the sun, and that is a very, abrupt angle. The blue ones are more harmonious. This one here, for instance, from Neptune, that's called a trine. That's from Sagittarius to Leo. Those are both fire signs. So they are harmonious because they're both in fire. Okay, so the blue lines usually go from, see the moon here? She's sending a blue line from Taurus to Virgo. So she's trining Saturn, and Saturn's sending a beautiful blue line there to the moon. Those are both Earth. So you see the blue lines in the chart, they are harmonious because they usually only are in the same element, okay? Whereas your squares, so Sun squaring the moon, Sun is in Leo, Moon is in Taurus, that's fire and earth. So those elements are contrasting. So the moon is probably causing, and Uranus over here, they are causing the disturbance to the heart. Not so much Venus, Jupiter and Sun. These planets are okay together, okay? This is a good stellium here. This is very good. This individual will be very generous and very loving from the heart. I mean, he's got Sun, Jupiter and Venus and Mercury in the heart. This individual communicates from the heart very, very expressively.
You just have to check his channel. It's Rise and Love, and you will see that's his channel, Rise and Love. So imagine he speaks from the heart. He's gonna be a world famous poet in a very short time.
Yeah, well, Mercury in Leo will cause the heart to be very fluent in expressing. So this individual needs to know that he's got a massive heart energy. Okay, 4 planets in Leo in the 8th house, very creative, very creative. The 8th house generates a lot of creativity. It's one of those artistic places. Sexual energy is there too. So good libido, nice and strong, and sexual energy is pure and divine. So it should be channeled correctly. And this will be a man with a big heart and a big future. But this Mars in Cancer, lots of acidity and lots of problems there with stomach, I would say. So that needs to be addressed. I can go way further into this and give other suggestions here, but Mars and Mercury are not aspecting in this chart, which means they're not talking to other planets. They are all on their own, which means sometimes you have to engage your action principle because Mars is not engaged. So that has to be engaged for you to get action done so you don't procrastinate. And Mercury will sometimes, this will be sort of like an individual who sometimes doesn't communicate unless engaged or unless provoked or invited to speak, because Mercury not aspecting tends to disengage itself from communication, etc. So these are just things to keep in mind. They're not pitfalls, they're not weaknesses in the chart, they're just things to learn so you can know your chart better.
Yeah, that's it. So thank you very much. Santos, do you have anything to add?
No, that's about it. So we just showed how to tell by the 4 humors which signs and which parts of the body can be suffering.
Yeah. Greatness. Thank you very much for coming again tonight. It was greatly appreciated. So as I say all the time, stay away from Babylon evil. You're too much of a wonderful people for that. So boom, we're out.
Bye.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Ja Rastafari.